And then just 2 years in, to realize that this guy that had lived one place his entire life might end up having to move twice in 2 years. And that is a bit defeating. Both calves are hunted at the same time, but they share a bottle. Now, we have more than one bottle, but
they won't drink out of anything.
They won't drink out of any bottle unless another one's had it first. They're so weird like that. And then, of course, you see Sadie has jumped in there to offer some protection. Oh, Ruby's not having that. She's gonna hit finally. The little nubby thing fell off, and she's so excited that she's no longer dragging around a piece of dead tissue. Can I look at your nub? I want to see your nub. Come over here. I want to look at your nub. Come here, show me your nub. Her dead tissue has fallen off.
No more dead meat.
No more dead. Sweetie, could you say, baby, she's not jumped like this ever. And I think that she's so happy that dead meat has fallen off. Look at that. Yeah, all of that dead tissue that was hanging there has just finally fallen off. And she is so darn excited. Yeah, this is you have to admit, we have some pretty exciting mornings. Sometimes they get started earlier than what we'd like. You need to hush it up over there, Rocky. Rocky's being encouraged by Carl and Tat. They really like Rocky's morning sounds. They can't seem to match those.
Stop.
I moved Rocky close. Oh my gosh. I moved Rocky closer to Carl and Tat because they seem like they all enjoy each other's company. Isn't that weird?
Yes. It's like the boys' club.
Yeah. If you don't know, Rocky was the rooster that Keeping It Dutch, Sean, brought over here. Surprised me with the rooster, because he knows that we do animal rescues. And I'm like, hold on. We normally are selective in what animals we rescue. We don't just take everything that someone wants to get rid of. But we have to make sure we can accommodate any animal. And everyone knows that I like baby chicks, but chickens are dead to me. Yet Rocky's been alive and well for 3 weeks now. He's doing fine. He's just a little bit louder than what I like. All right, everyone good over here?
Holy moly.
Well, that was just great. Jump in Mama's face and cough.
Okay.
Wow.
Ruby looks miserable.
Ruby, baby.
Ruby does get another ball.
Well, you know who's miserable is one that's still hungry.
You can't have any more.
This little goat is having quite the morning. Starla. Oh my gosh, Starla, please. Baby. The only thing cuter would be a little pajama set, but it's way too hot for pajamas. We ain't wearing goat pajamas right now. Oh, we got some horses and donkeys out and about. Morning, folks. Lester here. I want to thank y'all for taking some time to watch the video this morning. I want to show you something. You'll have to walk down with me though. I won't talk the whole way there, I promise. It's time to come to grips with, I'm just going to say, another oversight on my part. Yes, it is time that we come to grips. Let me just say this, I was mad. And when I get mad, I don't always think. And I was very upset with the Hydroseeding fella, because I don't think anyone knows how much that cost. I've never talked about it. I don't like talking about money. People don't like to talk about money. But hydroseeding, the reason that you hydroseed instead of regular seeding is because with the addition of the fertilizer, the addition of the mulch or the shavings, all mixed with the water and your seed amongst that, it puts a layer on the ground about so thick of moisture layer, and that helps your seeds germinate almost overnight. So when you hydroseed, you get a whole lot faster growth than you do when you just put out regular seed. That's why on the side of the road, for all the construction projects, you always see them bring in hydroseeders. It leaves a green coat. The fella told me that it would be 7 to 10 days. Anyway, I was mad when nothing came up, and my first reaction, which is typical of a lot of men, you get mad first before you start thinking. And so I called and began to throw accusations, this and that, not doing it right, not doing, whatever. I'm going to show you a picture that the guy sent me of the pasture he sprayed right before mine. July the 11th is when he sprayed this pasture using the exact same, I mean the exact same concoction that he used on my pasture. When I show you this photograph, it's going to freak you out. Y'all ready? Give me 1 second. Come on, you two. I'm going to let Tex and Santana out to forage along the deep woods. Where's Charlene? And here she comes. Sweet baby's barely waking up. She's just barely waking up, y'all. Poor sweetie. Come on, love. Now listen, that's right down the road. Same heat wave, same drought conditions. But when you see this photograph, it's mind-boggling in the difference. Good morning. Good morning, kind sir. I stand here and do kind of a physical inspection every day as they walk by. Good morning, sweetheart. Now I want to show you what I'm certain is the difference of why that fella's grass has come up and is looking the way it's supposed to look, and maybe why mine never did. Follow me along. my friends. Corey said that the fella where he hydroseeded had spent some time and some money, and he put down a layer of topsoil. He brought in some soil. He brought in soil. I did not do that. I just had him spray it right here on top of the ground. What I had no idea about is that this entire hill is so sandy and dry. It was like putting the hydroseeding, literally putting the hydroseeding. This is all the hydroseeding here. This is all of that mixture. But you're literally pouring it on top of what looks to be moon dust. It's just moon dust. It's not the right kind of soil. And I don't know how deep you have to go to find the right kind of soil. And then it doesn't matter how much water, how much irrigation you keep spraying on top of it. It's never going to grow in this type of soil. That. Sand holds no moisture whatsoever. That's why you can't sit there and grow a beautiful foliage right along the beach, because sand has no nutrition. It offers nothing. Now, I have to stop pointing fingers. And when I say pointing fingers, I got to stop pointing fingers up there. And I got to stop pointing fingers at anyone else. And just realize that I made a major miscalculation. More than a miscalculation, I just didn't think. And when you don't think, that kind of stuff happens. I was talking to a friend down the road, and he said, Lester, he goes, what you might have to do is get your tractor and a disc and come out here and disc all of this up. Oh, it would make quite the dust cloud. And it's going to make all of this hydroseeding just null and void. All for nothing. Pretty much all for nothing. But he said possibly you can kind of till in or disc in some of this sand and find whatever soil's underneath it. Don't know how deep you have to go, but maybe try to bring up some of the soil that's underneath it. And then maybe you can try to seed it again. And when you seed it again, you might be able to catch better soil. At this point, 3 weeks later, you can see the layer of mulch that was mixed in with the hydroseeding formula. What you can also see, though, is all of the sand. Just mountains and mountains of sand. Friends, you cannot grow any kind of grass in sand. I read yesterday the comments from our live. A lot of people were saying that I have a defeatist mentality. Lester, you have a defeatist mentality. That's Very unbecoming of you, Lester, with a defeatist mentality. Well, you know what? I'm not trying to sound defeated because well, I mean, I'm not saying that. Listen, life could be a lot worse. Life could be a whole lot worse. Things could be a whole lot worse. As of right now, all of our babies have their health. They're struggling, but so are so many other farmers. So I don't want to sound like I have a defeatist mentality. What I want to let you know, though, is that I have to start weighing my options. And that's the difficulty. And if there's a defeatist, anything defeating that's exuding out of me, it's just the fact that I lived my entire life, all 50 of my years, on one property, a property that has been in our family for 150 years. And I went against my family's wishes and I bought property elsewhere, hoping for a better life, not for me necessarily, because I was living fine, but for some of my animals. And in that, I spent a lot of money to make it a dream property for me. I did. I spent a lot of money to make it a dream property for me. Dreamy, with shade, and it already had this amazing topography. And we put in a pond and got land cleared and fencing and loafing sheds and barns and well house and greenhouse, raised bed gardening, man. Not to mention all the daily upkeep. And then just 2 years in, to realize that this guy that had lived one place his entire life might end up having to move twice in 2 years. And that is a bit defeating. That is a bit defeating. But what I do is, like I said in Jamie and our live last night, I look for the positives in life. I count my blessings. I count my blessings. Money is not a problem, my friends. I don't say that in a boastful or a braggart way, but money is not a problem. YouTube has been very good to us. Facebook has been very good to us. And so I'm not asking for your money, but what I am saying is I may have to make a decision that will affect you because you've invested your time and your energy. And I do believe that many of you have also fallen in love with this property the same way I have. So let's try to find a way to end this on a good note, shall we? My dad always told us that any investment in your property is always a good investment. He used to remind us how he could get paid and go off to town and come home with nothing, penniless. Maybe had a few laughs, maybe bought a few girls a drink. And at some point he began to realize how fruitless that kind of lifestyle was. And his dad had preached to him that you invest your money in your property. And so I will say that if it comes to it, and we do decide that this property is not for us because of our particular needs, It's not fulfilling our needs as far as our grazing needs. I will say this, that the property, the blood, sweat, and tears, the equity that we've put into it, it'll come back to help us. It was not a waste. I don't see it as a waste. I see it as possibly exchanging one little piece of heaven for another. But I will say this, the next time I'll do my research. Next time I'll do my research, I'll do my due diligence, and I will research and I'll learn. And I'll make sure that everything is perfect. Well, I know I'll still make mistakes. I can promise you that I'll still make mistakes, y'all. So I'll start liquidating things that I don't need. We've already moved along the Hummer. And we'll start gathering up, looking at our finances. And we're going to continue shopping, looking around. We have quite the criteria and even more now. And I know one thing for certain. Next property I buy, the first thing I'll do is a soil survey. I'm laughing. I will do a soil survey. And I'll make sure that it can carry and sustain a bahia grass. That it's tolerant to heat and drought. Because guys, I'll say it one last time, this is tough on these babies. And this is 2 years in a row. I want to thank y'all for watching this morning. It's early. I know I probably sound pretty gruff. I haven't even had my coffee. I have not even had my coffee. I hope that you don't think that every video from here on out is going to be one that's going to have the same mood. I'll find joy and laughter with you again. I promise you. Thank you for those that are able to keep an open mind and allow me to make decisions that's going to affect my family, including all these feathered, and furry, and big birdie type family members of mine. Cows and horses, the dogs. We have a lot to think about, friends. And when I say we, I hope to bring you along on my journey. I hope to be able to celebrate at the end of this with you. But I know when we made the first move, I know how many people I lost in that. And some have found their way back, and some never will. Anyway, thank y'all for watching, and we will catch you on tomorrow's video.